Dan, I appreciate the opportunity to come on it and share a little bit about this project. Kind of started during the pandemic. Remember when everything shut down, there was no sports, and the Michael Jordan's The Last Dance came out. And I loved planning my Sunday nights around the show. And I got a chance to reconnect with some of my teammates as they tipped back all the way back into like I like to call the first dance, that first set of 3 championships. So talking with guys like Stacey King and B.J. Armstrong, Will Perdue, reminiscing, got me thinking about my career and how I got started. And I went, I started putting little things on Facebook, and everyone says, you should write a book. I'm like, well, I ain't no author. I played 15 years in the league. I don't know if I got the skill. I wasn't a poor student, but, I thought that was next level. So, after thinking about it for a little while, I did an interview for a gentleman named Ben Guest. He was writing a book. And I said, I'm thinking about maybe doing myself. Would you help me? So Ben and I collabed on this thing, and we took it all the way back, and it's real and it's raw. I go back to my time, being recruited by Coach Smith when he came out to my house in California, invited my mother to come with me to our official visit. And she just fell in love with Chapel Hill. And before we arrived on a Friday, and before we left on Sunday, she was already, elbowing me in the ribs, tell Coach Smith coming. I'm a Southern California kid. I didn't know about going all the way across country and back to the South. I always wanted to go to UCLA and be a Bruin. So I said, well, come down, Mom. I gotta just go take my visit to UCLA. But I fell in love with the campus, and she wanted me far away from home. I grew up in a house with a lot of verbal
less distractions.
Well, it was a lot of verbal and physical abuse, Danny. Okay. So my dad would beat on us and put us down and beat on my mom. So she wanted to get me as far away as possible.
Sorry to hear that.
From Los Angeles. Yeah. So right before my sophomore year, I got a knock on my door. This first day of practice, and my roommate answered, said, Coach Smith's at the door. And I was like, oh no, what is Coach Smith doing on my door at 7:30 in the morning? Like, I thought I had screwed up, missed a class. I'm gonna be running to the golf course from the Smith Center for like a month.
Oh, I know those punishments.
Yeah, a weighted vest on the stairs. So my palms start sweating immediately. And he comes in and asks my roommate, Jeff Denny, he goes, Jeff, would you step out? And he said, your dad found your mom and shot her and killed her. And then he turned the gun on himself and he killed himself. So, had I been anywhere else but Carolina with Coach Smith and the Carolina family, and me being here on your podcast is evident of the legacy that he built, because guys that I didn't play with that played after me, guys that played before me, it's like a brotherhood for us. We're family. And that structure wrapped around a warm blanket around me, being in practice with my teammates, having to concentrate on a Dean Smith practice. And Roy Williams had me for about 45 minutes. He'd wear me out as the big man coach, and be able to go to Coach Smith's office and talk to him when I was feeling really down. I had some dark down days when I wouldn't sleep and kind of got after the beers too much. And I had to figure it out. Like, you got practice coming up here in 45 minutes, and he'd been ready to work your tail off. He didn't take it easy on me. He didn't say, okay, you look tired, sit down on the sideline. No, he sensed those days and got after me even harder. So it gave me a sense that if I can survive that, there ain't much in life that life's going to throw at me after that I am not going to be able to survive. So I wrote this book as a tribute to my mother and Coach Smith, who passed, as you know, Danny, 8 years ago. Because one of the things that we always had on our practice plan was a thought for the day, along with an offensive and defensive emphasis. We had a thought for the day. One of the ones that always kept coming up was, it's never too late to do the right thing. Short and sweet, but it just meant a lot. And I went, here it is, over 30 years later. If I can do some good, now's the time to do it.